live from the Cushman & Wakefield booth at ICSC Recon 2019 to bring you what's next in retail. I'm Alana Leffler, Head of Retail Marketing for America's Retail Services Platform. And with us this afternoon is Joseph Lising, Managing Director of Retail Capital Markets. Hi, Joseph.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. How's the conference going for you so far?
It's a little bit of a whirlwind. Yeah, it's a little bit of a whirlwind, but it's good.
Great. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying. So you're new to Cushman & Wakefield, right?
Correct, yes. I recently joined about 2 weeks ago.
Wow, you're brand new. We're really lucky to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what led you to Cushman?
Okay, I started in the industry about 20 years ago in 1998, and I've been working, I started off at Marcus & Millichap doing investment sales. We call it capital markets here, I take it, and at Marcus & Millichap we called it investment sales. And what brought me into the industry was the entrepreneurial spirit, and to be able to pretty much control my destiny and do what we wanted to do, and eventually like pit deals together, which to me became more of a hobby or art form than just a business transaction.
Oh, that's great. I like that you look at it that way. I feel the same way in terms of, it's not just showing up and going to work every day. There's so much to commercial real estate and so many exciting areas to learn from and to dig into.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what are you thinking about Cushman & Wakefield? How are you settling in?
It's a big company. I think it's probably 7 times larger than Marcus & Millichap, so there's a lot to learn, and I'm still trying to figure things out and trying to learn all the resources that you have to offer. But I'm very excited. I have a team of 5 that I'm bringing over, and we feel that we're going to be able to utilize your platform to be able to build and develop what we have, what we started in Marcus & Millichap, and hopefully we could escalate and grow over at Cushman.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're really excited to have you and your team. But now you had a really interesting career path. Why don't you tell us about, we know you started in commercial real estate, but then you kind of went off the beaten path and came back. So why don't you tell us about that?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for asking. So I started in commercial real estate, I think in my early 20s, and somewhere in my late 20s, after you make a certain amount of money, it gets to the point of asking the question of what is a profit of man to gain the whole world and lose his soul. So I took a hiatus, a little bit of a timeout, and I went 180 degrees shift, and I went to go discern a vocation to the priesthood.
Wow.
So you have one avenue, make as much money as you can, and the other avenue is like poverty, chastity, and obedience. So I did that. I think I was looking for it for about 5 years or so, and each time they told me I didn't really have a vocation in that direction. I figured that was God's way of saying, well, maybe you got to get back to commercial real estate. I ended up meeting my wife at a Bible study in 2011. 2009, we got married in 2011, and somewhere in 2010 I said, well, I better get back to work and need to make that living.
Okay, well that's great. So what led you to go back into commercial real estate? What was really that push? Was it?
Well, I had 2 loves in my life, like in terms of like the business, like my passions, I guess you could say.
Okay.
One was commercial real estate, and the other was theology and books. I had a Catholic bookstore at one point for 11 years, and so with commercial real estate, I could just pick up where I left off, and it was a great opportunity to be able to build the platform for my family, and so we have a 6-year-old now, and we're just trying to build the American dream.
Oh, great. Well, so you started back in 1998. How has commercial real estate changed and evolved since when you started up until now?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. Real estate is one of those industries where it's a little bit archaic in the way that things are done. Sometimes with technology, it takes a little while for people to adopt the technology into the real estate game. I feel it's like probably the last financial institution that is really taking in technology. As of the last few years, I think technology has advanced very quickly into commercial real estate, and I think it will continue to advance into the commercial real estate industry and affect how things are done in terms of the transactions, the deals, the interactions. And so with that advent of technology, one of the reasons I'm moving to Cushman was I felt Cushman has a better platform to incorporate some of those new advances in technology.
Yeah.
And I think it will drastically affect how our business gets performed in the future.
Well, I'd like to say that I think you will find that at Cushman & Wakefield. We just had James Jeniga here talking about our technology strategy for the company and for retail in particular, and there's so much that we're doing to advance because that's really where the business is going, and we have to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm excited to see how Cushman adopts into it. I think they launched the technology disruptor platform, and I think I'm very excited to see how that pans out. It might not happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen, 4, 5, 10 years down the road, and I think we should be ahead of the game on that.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Joseph.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time. Have a great
Thank
ICSC.
you all for tuning in. And I'm Alana Leffler, and that's what's next.